Guten Tag and welcome back everybody to Modded Minecraft 1.10 with yours truly, Dirk. How are you doing, guys? I hope you are doing great, having a fine week and a nice day. Grab your snacks and enjoy the show. So, we will hop right into it. As you can see, coffee dropping down from the heavens. Delicious hot beverage. Yummy, yummy. And making lovely mana out of it. So far, so good. So I am storing mana now in tablets because we are producing way more mana than these things can actually handle. So we have to come up with a solution for that. But I want to rush through a few things today, so we will hop right into. First of all, I added a third brewer, a third coffee maker, because we were, hanging a little bit behind in terms of making coffee. So this problem is now solved. The detector will detect if we have less than 64 coffee in the system and fill it up accordingly. And right now we have 66 coffee. Very nice. And we have 19,000 coffee beans, that is. And this number is actually in decline. So we have to come up with something to improve coffee production. Namely by adding more coffee here. I will do that off camera because that is not very interesting content. What else do we have? I added over here the floating solar gnolia. And whoa, let me out of here. Thank you very much. Well, let me put on the night vision goggles. And I added it over here as well. This thing prevents the magnetic rings, or in this case the electromagnet, from picking up stuff around you. In this case the coffee. Because when I stand here, I always picked up the coffee mugs that drops down on the gomorillas like that. And I don't want to do that. It's not for me. As much as I want to have it, it's not meant for me. And here, because the ingredients for the petal apothecary would get sucked up by my electromagnetic as well. Therefore, we have now this here. The altar is working once again. There was I can't even remember what it was. There was a floor that it didn't work, and it works now. So we can make sigils again. What else? Oh yeah, first of all, because it is always raining, I rebuilt a totem pole, just a basic totem pole. And by doing a certain type of dance, we can either make it rain or stop the rain from falling, which is really nice. Let me go to the basement. I added this here, a weather obelisk from Ender.io. But actually this thing needs firework to boost the rocket up into the clouds. And it needs a certain type of liquid to change the weather. And in case of good weather, it is, I believe, liquid sunshine. So it would be a slightly complicated process to do that. Because we need to do firewater first, and from there on the liquid sunshine and so on. We would need sunflowers for it, which we don't actually have, I believe. No, we don't have sunflowers. So that wouldn't be possible right off the bat. Speaking of bat, hello, spider. There you go. Can I maybe hit you? Thank you. What else do we want to do? So, first of all, one of the primary things I did all this for was this. The Jaded Amaranthus. And it doesn't do anything. I think it does have to pick up mana. Yeah. It needs mana. So it will connect to the mana pool here, I think. Yeah, it is connected to the mana pool. And as long as this thing has mana, it will grow mystical flowers in its vicinity. That was one of the original intentions because we need it for dye and for the actual petals. So this works. For picking this stuff up, we decided to go with Horn of the Wilds. Boop! And we have all stuff picked up. So this is a really easy way to uproot all the different stuff, all the plants. That is the way we want to harvest the plants. And of course, there is a better method to do so. It is the Drum of the Wilds, which can be activated by a by a mana burst. Oh, I'm not sure now. Let me quickly... Natural apparatus. Drum of the Wild, yeah. To trigger a beat and break nearby foliage, one would fire a mana burst at the drum. Good. Mana we have plenty. That is not a problem. What we don't have is an actual location and a Drum of the Wild. So I will provide a location for the Amaranthus to grow their plants, and I will provide this inside this pillar. I was thinking about that, and I think I will actually do that. I will leave just the outer walls and hollow this pillar out and place this then inside there. This is the first step I want to do today, and I will do it right now. Alright, so we've done a little bit of things. I have actually no idea how long the episode is by now, because I have 2 or 3 hours of video footage. I have to compress that somehow. I think of a montage of some kind. Boop, there we go. So this is what we've done so far. The tunnel through the mountain all the way to the other side over there is... No, we have actually no light on right now. And here we have just planted a few trees. And we go here on the other side. Here's nothing yet. And I have no idea if or how I want to continue from here. If we actually make a bridge over this gap to over there or whatever. Just a path clinging on the side of this mountain, so we have access to that over here. But anyway, the system we intended to build is so far ready. It is not entirely the way I want it to be. For example, this here seems to be some sort of mana drop-off point, so mana actually never reaches this mana pool here, even without the tree in the middle. So this thing will never plant anything. I have to come up with something to distribute the mana more evenly, and I have to look into Botania a little bit more in depth to figure that out. As you saw, I built a shifting, what is it called? Rod of the shifting crust, so we can exchange material. In this case, grass blocks. Of course, we don't have any, and we don't want to exchange the path for grass. But this is how I did all that. So this is a very neat little handy tool. And I think with this, we are so far finished, I guess. This is what I wanted to do. We have now plenty of... oh no, we don't have it actually in the system, because for right now I just placed the chest here. This will eventually fill up, of course. I have to... Boom! There you heard the drum of the wild hit by this pulse mana spreader every minute. Every time this thing gets a redstone pulse, in this case from this timer, it will shoot a mana pulse to the drum of the wild, and it will harvest all the things. So we have now plants in the chest, and this will end up eventually, of course, in the system. So this here is filled to the rim now. So we have to come up with something. Yeah, this will never fill up actually. Don't really get it. I think this is just too slow. So this is full of mana. This is filled to the rim with mana. And this not. So I guess just not enough mana is flowing. I know there are lenses, so you can, for example, increase the amount of mana, increase the distance it can travel without losing any, increase the time, and so on, and so on, and so on. So we can eventually do that. And we have to come up with a system to shut this whole thing down in case this happens. When we are full, when the mana is completely filled, this must shut off. And I don't actually know how to do that. Well, I think we can, let's see. Is this possible with a comparator? Or comparator? Or whatever you want to call it. So, let's see. Will this emit a redstone signal? It does. Will it emit a redstone signal? Let's see. Redstone dust. Will the signal strength change with... yeah, it seems that way. Ooh, I activated a lever. Yeah. Okay, so a completely filled mana pool gives us a signal strength of 15, I believe. So we could potentially figure out if a mana pool is full, and if so, stop the whole system by giving a signal to a relay that not yet exists. Yeah, that could be something. Okay, I will figure something out. But there is another thing I wanted to do today. And I want to introduce some sort of long time project to you. This will be a little bit talky without doing actually much. But I really want to do it. And so I will introduce this today and will work on it every now and then. And then we will see how that works out. So, what I have in mind is a storage system. Of course, we have the storage system from Refined Storage, no matter what. This is amazing, it is fast, it is reliable. All our storage happens here. And all the control of our storage. So these are all the crafters, these are the storage units, the storage disks, and mostly here. So we have... how many is this? 512,000? No, should be more. These are... No, that is okay. So, we store right now 384,000 items in one block. That is amazing. But think about it. Think about, for example, cobblestone. Just one block of cobblestone is exactly the same height and width and length as this storage area where 184,000 blocks are stored. That is something that is a little bit off when you think about it. It doesn't make sense. Where are all these blocks? Even when you take a regular vanilla chest, let's see. Take a regular vanilla chest. It is the same block measurements as this here, but still you can store plenty, stacks upon stacks, into one chest. And to be frank, that sounds wrong. Let's think about how a storage area or a storage facility would look like to store this sheer amount of blocks. And I thought about a TV series named Warehouse 13. I have no idea if you know it. If you don't know it, watch it. It's an amazing series. But here is what that warehouse looks like. It is basically a giant warehouse in the side of a mountain where an amazing amount of items are stored. And that is exactly what we need. We need a giant warehouse where all the stuff that we have is stored in some way. Of course, we have a world that is full of magic. And in this case, because we're playing modded, also Technic. It is very technical. It is a very magical world. We are on peaceful again. I knew it. Man, all the time we didn't produce any experience or items. Stupid. I still haven't figured out why that is. I get distracted. So, what I want to do is build a giant warehouse. So first of all, we need a place for it. And I will try to figure out where I want to build something like that. It must be a hidden place, and it must be huge. So, let's fly around and see what we find. Okay, now this is our little world. It's still loading in because I increased the block render the chunk render distance quite a bit. It is way over 20 chunks now, so it is a little bit laggy. We have not the best of frame rates right now, but my apologies for that, because we want to see things. So here's our farms. There's the building I never finished. So this is basically the main base. Botania base over there. Sorry. And the rocket thingy over there. The Buster Space... What did I call? Buster Space Center? Something like that. I can't even remember. So this is the area we're living in. And you can see, because that is elevated terrain, or what is amplified terrain, we don't really have that much space. We have all these huge pillars and flying rocks. Oh, over there you can see the windmill. We have this huge space, and we have all these pillars and flying rocks. But what we don't have is one continuous space. At least not on top. Ooh, can you see the hole there? That looks amazing. I don't have to go over there. But I get sidetracked again. I think what we need to do is go underground. That is the only area we have plenty of space in at least 3 directions. All cardinal directions and down. That is 5 directions. Don't mind me. So that is the only space. The only other space is inside these pillars, inside these mountains. And it is not quite enough for what I was thinking of. I was thinking really, really giant. When you stand in the room and you can't see the other side of the room. That big. I wanna build it. And I want to build it in style of the warehouse. Okay, I think this is what I want to do. Now I want at least try to show you what I have in mind. Okay, now here's what I'm thinking. Let me make light first. Something like this. This is of course just makeshift. I have to figure something out. This is just scaffolding from Evasive Engineering. And this is just chisel and bits, a steel block. So we have a dark theme to it. And then we have this, holding spaces. just like this, and we can place items in there. For example, items like this, if you want to actually place items. And for blocks, of course, it is more like a block, and so on. And for really bulky storage, we would have this. So we would have different areas throughout the warehouse where we can store different things. And of course, this is mainly for looks. We don't want to actually do anything with these blocks. What we want to do is place somewhere in the storage system, maybe behind the actual blocks, maybe underneath these holding areas, we would place actual storage blocks and whitelist or blacklist whatever we want to do with it. Mainly whitelisting, for example, in this case spruce wood. We would whitelist spruce wood and make sure that only that type of block will go in there. And that way we would have a massive warehouse with all these aisles or aisles, or what it is called. So we have storage shelves upon shelves, row after row, and areas where we can store huge amounts, like bulk storage. But as I said, mainly for optic. This is all just looks. The system behind that would still be refined storage, but in a little bit, I hope at least, in a little bit more sophisticated way, so that we can actually sort things and decide where to store what and which amounts. So this would be the ultimate goal, and we could check each of these for a certain amount, start stop auto crafting systems with it, and so on and so on. So this would all be underneath where we actually stand, way down in the ground. And then we would have some sort of maybe secret access to it, like an elevator down to there. So this, as I said, this is just introduction of a project I have in mind, and I really want to do it, and I want to do it thoroughly. So I will spend free time, spare time that I have over the weekends, whenever I feel like it, and make these things happen. And whenever I do a little bit of share-worthy progress, I will actually let you be part of it. Let's see, I just wanted to try that out. Can I do that actually? Yes, I can. I have placeable items installed as a mod, and with that you can actually place items in the world. That is amazing. I was hoping for even with spruce wood that we could place the actual entity as an item in the world, but that's sadly not in the cards. But if we really want to go into depth, we could always do something with chisel and bits, although I think that would cost me the rest of my life. If I want to chisel and bits, but I don't know how many items we have in the mod pack right now, but it is, let's see, we have 40 pages of items. I really don't want to do that. But for all the items we have and we want to store, I want a designated storing space. And I want it to be huge, so we can actually see how many items we are storing. So that is the great plan, so to speak. I will try to realize over the course of the next, I guess, weeks, maybe even month. We have to see. But this is it for today. We have achieved a few things with Botania. I'm really quite satisfied with how it worked out. Now I'm not, because everything is laying about. Yeah, we have to improve the range of the hopper hock with mana. There we go. It works. Nice. So with this awesome site, I will leave you for this episode. We will see us again in the next one. Take care of yourself, guys, and rock on.